Welcome to this quest. A man stands rigidly before a table displaying exam results, his eyebrows knitted in disbelief. He stares, paper clutched tightly in his hand, as surprise washes over his expression. Just then, a girl hurries past and notices his bewilderment. Curious, she stops to ask what could possibly shock him so much. He then gestures for her to take a look at the paper. "Check out these grades from this semester's final tests," he exclaims, his voice a mix of disbelief and disappointment. He goes on and rage about the paper results. "Can you believe it? Look at this brat's grade." The girl leans in, her eyes darting over the results. "What's wrong with the grades?" she asks, concern etching her features. The man insists that everything appears to be in order. He directs her attention again and his tone grows more heated. She leans closer, intrigued, and peers at the numbers. "It looks fine to me," she responds, though doubt still lingers in her voice. "I double-checked and triple-checked everything because I wasn't sure." He then sighed, muttering that everything looks somehow in order. Another semester comes, and a classroom is shown. While the teacher's voice booms across the classroom, demanding the students settle down. "Stop wasting my time," he orders, and instructs everyone to clear their desks. Students started to sweat, feeling like it's harder than the previous tests, as if the questions are harder on purpose. Ji-hyun, sitting at his desk, feels a knot of anxiety tighten in his stomach. He grips his pencil and fills in answer boxes diligently, but the pressure weighs heavily on him. In a moment of fatigue, he closes his eyes and takes a deep breath, wishing the horror of the exam away. "I shouldn't have to cheat," he reminds himself. After the exam, Ji-hyun was called by a teacher and he wondered what could possibly be the reason. With his grades from previous quarters buzzing in the back of his mind, he braces himself in front of the teacher as he begins to scold him mercilessly. "This little guy," the teacher snaps. "You're honest, sure, but not exactly bright." Ji-hyun feels a flush of indignation. The teacher crumples Ji-hyun's answer sheet in a fit of rage, furious that someone like him could score so high in English and literature. "Really?" Ji-hyun shoots back, trying to contain his anger. "I didn't cheat, I earned those scores." The teacher's eyes narrow skeptically. "Prove it," he challenges. "If you can score respectably on the final exams, maybe I'll believe you." With a newfound determination, Ji-hyun replied, "I will show you my results." The teacher's disbelief only fuels Ji-hyun's resolve, and he silently vows to rise to the occasion. Later, as the class empties, Ji-hyun encounters his friend and classmate. Full of energy, Moonjin jokingly asks if the teacher had tried to poison him. "No," Ji-hyun groans. His friend nudges him, trying to lure him into joining the fun. "Come on, you need a break, right? Let's go play at the computer shop." But Ji-hyun shakes his head, resolute. Taking his bag, he moves to go out of the classroom and smiling says that he has to go home. While his friend tried to insist that it's been so long since they last played. He asked Ji-hyun what he could possibly do at home. So Ji-hyun said that he will be studying. Then his friend showed a dramatic shocked expression asking, "You? Studying? Since when?" He mocks, grabbing Ji-hyun by the shoulders and squeezed his head. "Are you sick? You're Ji-hyun, right? Are you an alien?" Ji-hyun removed his friend's hands on him and annoyingly said, "Moonjin. Now's the time to get serious. You'll thank me later," Ji-hyun insists. As he continued to go out the door, as they parted ways, Ji-hyun advised Moonjin, "You should start studying too. I'm just looking out for you." At home, Ji-hyun is greeted by his parents, who are buzzing with excitement. His mother picks up the results sheet, squinting at the numbers in disbelief. She beams at him, her eyes shining with pride. "You scored the highest in English and literature. I can't believe it." Her joy wraps around him like a warm blanket. "I didn't expect this from you, sweetheart," she exclaims, eliciting a wave of pride in Ji-hyun as they embrace. Still, Ji-hyun confidently stated that he would improve and achieve full points in his other subjects as well. Silently, both of his parents showed a hopeful expression, while his mother began to tear up, overwhelmed by her son's resolve. "Thank you, son," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. "We look forward to it," they replied in unison. Despite some people being surprised by the change in his grades and others looking down on him, saying things like, "What can a poor kid like him do? He'll never be able to succeed," there were many who continuously encouraged him and embraced his transformation, especially his parents. Now, if you were in Ji-hyun's position, how would you react? What if you had the chance to redo everything again? And just like that, after another exam, the teacher was in disbelief at the results. He angrily walked down the corridor, unable to comprehend how a student who had always been last in the class suddenly achieved first place in his class and third place in the entire year. It really happened, just as Ji-hyun said it would. As the teacher continued down the hallway, he unexpectedly confronted Ji-hyun. Surprised, Ji-hyun stopped and stared at his teacher. With a bewildered look, the teacher asked, "Did you become a new person or something?" Ji-hyun smiled. What an unexpected turn his life had taken. Suddenly, it was clear. Hard work pays off, and maybe, just maybe, this moment could change everything. As he confidently replied, "Well, as I said, I am now going to live a brand new life." So, Ji-hyun meant it when he said he was living a brand new life. Before that change, though, something happened. Something huge. It all started with a dream. Not just any dream, a nightmare. Ji-hyun saw a man whose life had completely fallen apart. At 40, this man had finally made it into medical school. And that was probably the peak of his life. Back in high school, he was bullied relentlessly. After graduation, he somehow pushed through med school and barely earned his diploma. He dreamed of becoming a surgeon. Everyone else avoided that path, but he threw himself into it, obsessively studying, scared that one small mistake could cost a patient their life. And you know what? His hard work paid off. He got into one of the top public hospitals in the country. But life didn't reward him for long. Despite his dedication, he was fired. The private clinic he tried to start? Bankrupt. His marriage, arranged through a blind date, fell apart. The woman he once loved? Gone. Even when he tried to start over and tried to support his own mother, poverty loomed over them both to the point that she was on the verge of becoming homeless. And just when he thought things couldn't get worse, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. His world collapsed. He sat there in his office, surrounded by sealed boxes. The wedding photo with his ex was shattered on the floor. And then, bang bang bang. Debt collectors at the door, demanding money, mocking him. "Are you crazy?" the thug sneered. "I heard you're gonna die soon," he continued. Ji-hyun was surprised by what the thug said. Suddenly, the thug grabbed him. "You think you can escape when you die? What about your mother? She'll inherit your 200 million won debt." That hit him like a truck. He begged, on his knees, not for himself, but for his mom. She had suffered enough. His father had passed when he was in high school. His mom was all he had left. One of the collectors, calm, cruel, leaned in with a suggestion. "You're a doctor. You know what your body's worth, right?" They listed it all. Liver, 40 million. Kidney, 20 million. Heart, 40 million. Corneas, 30 million. Sell your body, they said. At least that way, you'll pay off the debt before you die, if the cancer spreads. "You are of no use," the thug grinned and mocked him. He sat there, broken. Everything he had worked for, gone. No one left in his corner. Not even a place to stay. From there, an elderly landlady burst in next. "Out, now," she shouted. He hadn't paid rent in months, and her house was losing face. She kicked him out on the spot. On the streets now, defeated, he called his mother. He tried to sound cheerful. She told him to wear a jacket, it was cold. She asked if he was okay. He lied. "It's warm in the hospital. I'm fine, Mom." She apologized for interrupting his work and hung up. As soon as the call ended, he broke down and cried. He bought 2 bottles of soju with the last cash in his wallet. Sat alone on a park bench. 1 bottle down in a single gulp. He muttered, "Fuck." That's when someone approached. A young woman. "Doctor?" she asked, "Is that you? Do you remember me?" He backed away, confused. But she sat beside him, undeterred. "You helped me once, 2 years ago. In the at Daehan Hospital." Then he remembered. The girl and her boyfriend, both had been stabbed. She was losing blood fast. Her organs were spilling out, but she never screamed. None of the other surgeons would touch the case. They were afraid, but he, the so-called loser, he took the risk. "You fought for my life," she said softly. "You gave us a second chance." He laughed bitterly. "I'm just a failure." But she shook her head. "No, you're a doctor with incredible skill. I've watched you ever since that day." That made him pause. "Watched me? What do you mean?" The girl smiled. "If it weren't for you, we would have died. I owe you my life. And now, I'm here to repay that debt." She then turned to her side, rummaging to her bag and pulled a bottle, strange, ornate bottle that looks eerily mysterious. Once she opened it, she poured a small cup and offered it to him. He frowned. "What is this?" "Seeds blessed by heaven," she said. "Yeah, right," but he didn't care anymore. He had nothing left to lose. He downed the drink without a second thought. Then she asked him something that stopped him cold. If you could live your life again, how would you live it? His vision blurred, his words slurred. He started to mumble about being a better son, a prouder man. His last words before blacking out were simple. I want a new life. The girl whispered a prayer over him as his body disappeared into the night. A single feather drifted to the ground. Ji-hyun woke up, shaken. Was it a dream? A vision? A memory of a life once lived? Whatever it was, he knew one thing. That man, the one who had lost everything, was him. And this time, he wasn't going to make the same mistakes. When Ji-hyun woke up, he wasn't just confused, he was stunned. The man in the dream? That wasn't just some tragic stranger. It was him. He stared at his hands, his surroundings. Everything felt both familiar and foreign. Same hands, same skin, but something had changed, deep inside. It was as if his 30 years of life had been rewound. And now, he was just a high school junior again. He looked around the small, modest room. The furniture was old. Wait, this was the same apartment he had grown up in. Where he lived, until yesterday. His heart raced. Was this real? Could it be? He rushed to the door. From the other side, a familiar voice called out, "Come eat, or you'll be late for school." It was his mother. She sat at the table, looking decades younger. His father, alive again, was calmly reading the newspaper. Ji-hyun froze. His eyes filled with tears. He hadn't seen his father since he passed during Ji-hyun's 3rd year of high school. And now, he was right there. Whole. With trembling lips, Ji-hyun called out to them. Mom, Dad. They stared back, puzzled. I love you, he said, his voice cracking. Are you feeling okay? His dad asked. But Ji-hyun didn't care how strange he seemed. He was determined not to waste a single second of this second chance. At school, everything looked the same. The building, the uniforms, the classmates. Even the feeling of walking through that front gate hit him like a wave of nostalgia. He was filled with energy, confidence, even hope. A fresh start, a clean slate. This time, he'd get it right. Ji-hyun thought, looking determined. But then, he was hit by a reality, when the teacher asked if everyone studied hard for the exam. Clear your desks, the teacher announced. It's time for the quarterly exam. Wait, what? Ji-hyun was caught off guard. He hadn't studied at all. Moojin, seeing his friend froze up in place, he asked, Dude, did you study? Confusedly, Ji-hyun looked at his friend and whispered, What study? The final exam? It's today, his friend reminded him. Ji-hyun blinked. Wait, what are we supposed to study? Moonjin gave him a look. Everything. His stomach dropped. Then the teacher's voice rang out again, this time, like a warning bell. If your performance drops again, especially you, Ji-hyun, you'll be expelled. Expelled? As the test began, panic set in. But something strange happened. He looked at the first question, thinking hard on who was those persons like Taeyong or something. Not from cramming, not from memory, from somewhere else, deep within him. The years of prep for medical school, the long nights, the knowledge, it was still there, buried in the back of his mind. But the rest? Blank. He tried to push through, focusing on what he could. Still, frustration built. This was madness. His brain was still wired for medical boards, not high school exams. After the test, students started standing from their desks, talking about how hard it was. While our protagonist looks ready to move on to the afterlife. Moonjin turned to him. Man, how was the exam? You wanna go hit the computer? However, Ji-hyun thought that in his past life, he would have gone. Wasted the day. Not this time. Ji-hyun grabbed his bag. Sorry, I've got things to do. Back home, he sat at his desk, furiously thinking. He was trying, really trying, to remember everything. But how was he supposed to live like this? His knowledge was specialized in medicine, not high school curriculum. Still, a plan began to form. If all his memories as a doctor were intact, why not aim higher this time? No more scraping by, no more burnout. He wouldn't just survive, he'd thrive. Not as a stressed-out general surgeon. No, this time, he'd become a dermatologist. Better hours, better pay, way less stress. He pictured it. A luxury apartment overlooking the Han River. A sleek foreign car. His name on the sign of a top-tier private clinic. With that in mind, he started to cheer himself, fighting Ji-hyun. But then reality hit him again. 4 years of high school. 10 more in med school, residency, military service. Could he really do it all over again? He buried his head in the books. If I have to relive this life, he muttered, then fuck, I'll make it count. I will succeed. Days passed in a blur of studying. His mom watched from the doorway, puzzled. Usually, he was glued to video games. Now, he barely left his desk. She walked in, concerned. You should lie down. The exams aren't even close yet. It's okay, I'm not finished for today yet, he said, smiling. I want you and Dad to live better this time. His mother stared, moved by his words. The next day, Ji-hyun stopped by the family restaurant. He greeted his father and walked in like a young man on a mission. I'm here to help out, he said. His father turned his back and said, your dad always said he dreamed of a son who only cared about studying. Don't worry about this place. But Ji-hyun insisted, didn't you say that you need help? Can't I come by and help now and then? His father closed his eyes and said that he already talked with his mother and that he did not need to come, just go home, son. However, while Ji-hyun tried to insist, his dad smiled, walked over, and gently patted Ji-hyun's head. Thanks, son, he said, but focus on your future. And in that moment, warmth. Real, living warmth. Ji-hyun hadn't felt his father's hand in decades. And now, it was back. He couldn't hold it in. Tears fell, but this time, they weren't from regret. They were the tears of someone who had been given a miracle. Afterwards, the classroom door burst open. A student stuck his head in from the hallway, eyes wide with excitement. Guys, you won't believe this, he announced. Ji-hyun, he placed third in the final grades this semester. The room went silent, total shock. Ji-hyun? That loser Ji-hyun? Third place? That was impossible. He'd always been at the bottom of the class. Moonjin, flipping through a textbook, turned to him. Wait, what? How the hell did you pull that off? He asked, disbelief all over his face. Ji-hyun gave a calm smile. You should give studying a try, too. It might surprise you. Moonjin, annoyed by the comeback, scoffed. Tisk. Later that day, during break, another student approached Ji-hyun, this one wearing the class monitor badge. I'm the guy who ranked 14th, he said, extending his hand. Congrats on being the top of the class. Ji-hyun blinked, unsure how to respond. The monitor grinned. You've been hiding your terrifying talent, huh? But next time, I'll be higher than you. Ji-hyun chuckled awkwardly. This guy's been reading too much manga. Back at home, things were different, but warm. Ji-hyun entered the kitchen. He was surprised only to find his mom wiping away tears while looking at his test papers. I never even dreamed of my son taking first place. I'm not dreaming, right? She whispered through her sobs. Then she threw her arms around him in a tight hug. He was stunned. Sure, he'd done well, but he didn't expect it to mean this much to her. And that wasn't the only surprise. Later that night, his dad stumbled into the apartment, completely drunk. As he leaned heavily on Ji-hyun, the boy asked, why'd you drink so much? His father smiled and mumbled, I had a few with the director. 'Cause it's a good day. You made it one. Still, as he supported his father, he reminded his father, even then you shouldn't have drank so much. Thinking through, he doesn't remember his dad drinking that much in his first life. Concerned, Ji-hyun helped him into bed and said, good night, Dad. As he pulled the blanket over him, his dad turned back, called him back and softly said, I love you, son. Ji-hyun paused. Then came the words he never expected to hear. Ji-hyun stood frozen. He hadn't heard that in decades. I heard you, he whispered. Get some rest. He closed the door quietly behind him, heart full and eyes blinking back tears. This life, even if it's shorter than the last one, it already feels more meaningful. Summer break arrived, but Ji-hyun didn't slow down. At his parents' restaurant, his mom insisted he head home early to rest. I already rested, he said with a small smile, sweeping up the trash. It's good to take breaks from studying anyway. His father looked up, amused. The boy's turning into me. Please, his mother scoffed. I did most of the raising. Ji-hyun laughed and turned to his dad. Ah, father, I wanted to ask for a favor. What is it? Anything for my son, his dad said. Ji-hyun clenched his fist and said, I'd like to start working out at the director's gym. His father raised a brow. You mean the one for kickboxing? Why so sudden? Yeah, Ji-hyun nodded. Well, I want to build endurance before high school. So I wanted to start working out. His dad looked genuinely impressed. You're already a step ahead. I'll talk with the director later. That evening, the principal welcomed Ji-hyun to the gym with open arms. Ji-hyun, it's been a while. Your dad's proud, the man said. He says you're on fire these days. Want to tutor my kid while you're at it? Ji-hyun laughed awkwardly while the director patted him by the shoulder. Then he motioned to the ring. So, kickboxing? You serious about it? Yes, I really want to improve my endurance. Ji-hyun said, but for real fights, I want to practice real fighting to win. The director was surprised with what Ji-hyun said. Why? Are you going to beat up someone later or something? Ji-hyun nodded. I don't want to lose to anyone anymore. Not ever again. The principal's eyes lit up. Huh, fine, that's the spirit. You want to learn, but as a fighter. He clenched his fists. Let's see what you've got. I'll go easy on you. The match started. It was intense, every second sharper than the last. With just 10 seconds left on the clock, Ji-hyun took a hard punch to the cheek, followed by a swift kick. He stumbled, dazed. He couldn't find his footing. Looking beat up like our protagonist really have gone through our war. He still said to the director that he was okay with sparring and said, I would like to go for one more round, like a masochist. Huh, you opened up too early, the director said. An opponent would take advantage of that. You've got to learn control. Ji-hyun wiped sweat from his brow. I'm fine, let's keep going. But the man shook his head. That's enough for today. You've got heart, but your body's not ready yet. Be patient, build strength, confidence will follow. Ji-hyun stood there, breathing heavily, nodding in silence. Then the director patted his head and said, if we continue, your dad will beat me to death. Later that night, the clock struck 10 p.m. Everyone else was gone. But not Ji-hyun. He stayed behind, training alone, punch after punch, kick after kick. His face glistened with sweat, his muscles aching, his breath ragged. But he refused to stop. His mind was on him, his rival, the enemy he knew he'd face again next school year. Thinking that he will be able to defend himself now. As Ji-hyun continues to clench his fist looking menacingly, he silently said, I won't lose to you, he vowed. Never. Back to school, the class monitor stared at the board in disbelief. This can't be right, he muttered. Ji-hyun, first place, again? He read the results over and over, but it didn't change. The guy who always ranked last was now consistently at the top. The monitor clenched his fists. I won't let this happen again. As Ji-hyun held his hand to accept the card, smiling awkwardly, the teacher handed Ji-hyun his report card with a smile. First again, huh? Keep it up. And with that, Ji-hyun graduated from middle school, with the highest possible grades. Looking handsome, our protagonist adjusted his new uniform. Now, wearing a clean suit and crisp white shirt, Ji-hyun stepped into his new life. A senior, freshly enrolled at Wonner High School. Just like last time, he thought. And then, once again, Moonjin greeted him cheerfully. Dude, we're classmates again. Yes, let's go to arcade after school? Ji-hyun smiled slightly. Thrown into the same class with him again? Is this fate? Or something else? The classroom buzzed with energy. New students mingled, laughing and chatting. Suddenly, the door opened. An older man stepped in, adjusting his glasses. Settle down, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm your homeroom teacher, Mr. Ha. He looked over the class. Congratulations on joining Wonner High. This school has a long history, and even tougher standards. Don't fall behind. Once you do, it's hard to catch up. Ji-hyun leaned back in his seat. Still the same teacher. Still the same speech. As Ha continued his introduction, the door creaked open again. And when Ji-hyun looked back, his expression shifted immediately. And honestly, when this tall handsome student with striking white hair stepped in, with a slight smile, he said, sorry I'm late, traffic jam. His smile was casual, but confident. Any seats left? The classroom froze. Ha's face turned red. Do you even know what time it is? And what's with that ridiculous hair? This is a classroom, not a fashion show. Are you a delinquent? What's your name? Huh? Fine. I'll remember that. You delinquent. Ha suddenly stopped ranting. Then, the name clicked. You're Sangmin? From Spice High? Smirking, the student nodded. Everyone's heard of me here, I think. Ha's attitude flipped like a switch. He clasped his hand trying to smile widely. Ah, traffic, huh? Unlucky. Don't worry about it, it's the traffic fault. You don't have to worry about anything, he said warmly. Want to sit somewhere out of the sun? Ah, it's okay. Sangmin chose a seat in the corner. That's Sangmin, son of some big business family, right? The students whispered to each other. He scored first place in the national screening test. The girls giggled, and he looks handsome, they said, already charmed. But Ji-hyun's gaze hardened. Same seat, same name, same face. I'll never forget it. Sangmin walked up to him and like a toothpaste model he smiled at our protagonist. Hey, I'm Sangmin. Nice to meet you. Ji-hyun returned a polite nod. Ha, I'm Ji-hyun. Nice to meet you too. But inside, he was boiling. Even if the past is over, I'll never forget what you did to me. Strangely, nothing happened in the first few days. Sangmin didn't pick a fight, didn't stir chaos. Instead, other classmates started getting close to Jihyun. Hey, one guy said during break, wanna play football? A girl leaned in, asking how good he is with studying and how did manage to get his grades up. Jihyun, unused to this kind of attention, felt awkward. He didn't know how to respond. Both of his classmates argued in front of him. Moonjin noticed. Dude, you're like, famous now, he laughed. Wanna hang out after class? Huh? Oh okay? Jihyun reluctantly agreed, thinking how hard it is to say no. That's when Sangmin appeared behind Jihyun and casually placed a hand on his shoulder. Jihyun, right? He asked. You free tonight? Jihyun turned, surprised. Huh? Why? He asked sharply. Sangmin smirked. Nothing serious. Just wanna relax a bit. Unwind. Jihyun narrowed his eyes. I don't know what you're planning, but I'm not interested. Then Jihyun stood up and said, I've got stuff to do at home. Go unwind by yourself. He then left, leaving a surprised Sangmin. Later, another student approached Sangmin. You know that weirdo? Sangmin frowned. He's got this vibe, like some kind of shut-in. Nerdy. Not my type. The guy laughed. Let's beat him up. He's acting way too cocky. Sangmin paused, then smiled. Not here. He's ranked number 1. Wouldn't look good. But, he added, let's keep an eye on him. Why not go after the people around him? Wouldn't that be better, huh? Just then, Chulwoo, Sangmin's new friend, pulled him aside and pointed. That's Moonjin, Jihyun's best friend. Sangmin sized him up. Looks weak. Don't think he knows how to fight. Chulwoo nodded. Should I talk to him? Sangmin shrugged. Do what you want. Chulwoo then thought and laughed how that bastard managed to irritate his friend and put a target on his back. Moonjin looked over and saw them glaring. Confused, he tilted his head. What the hell's their problem? Meanwhile, Jihyun was at home, buried in his textbooks. Year after year, he thought, I wasted time. But not anymore. High school subjects were tougher. The gap between good and great was wider than ever. He had a goal now. A real one. The National Medical University. He clenched his fist. If I want to get in, I need to study harder than ever before. His mom entered quietly and placed a hand on his shoulder. You should rest a bit, sweetie. I'm fine, he said gently. You go to bed first. She hesitated, then nodded and left him to his books. Alone in his room, Jihyun looked up from his notes. No more wasted time, no more regrets. I won't let him ruin my life again. Love yourself. Jihyun stepped into the classroom, weaving through the noise and chatter until he reached his desk. But his mind was somewhere else. Where's Moonjin? He scanned the room again. Still no sign. Even when Moonjin struggled with his studies, he never skipped school. This was strange, and with no phones around, at least not ones everyone carried, there was no way to contact him. All Jihyun could do was wait, and hope he was okay. As the lesson went on, the bell rang. Students stretched and launched into break-time gossip. That's when Moonjin appeared. He walked past Jihyun without a word. Where've you been? Jihyun asked. Moonjin didn't respond. His back was turned. Then Jihyun noticed it. Something was wrong with his face. A strange expression. A strange silence. Hey, he said again, stepping forward and grabbing his shoulder, trying to turn him around. And then he saw it. Bruised. Swollen. His face had been beaten. Jihyun's voice trembled. Who did this to you? Moonjin struggled to speak. Then he whispered, I'm sorry, please. Stop talking to me. I don't want them to notice. Jihyun froze. His breath caught. What was going on? His blood boiled. Teeth clenched. Face flushed red. He turned on his heel and stormed across the classroom. There, feet up on the desk, relaxed as always, was Sangmin. Jihyun approached him head-on. You did this, didn't you? Sangmin raised a brow. Huh? I said, did you beat Moonjin? Sangmin stared at him, then gave a slow, amused smile. He stood. So what? He asked casually. What are you gonna do about it? Jihyun's anger exploded. He clenched his fist, tight as a blade, and drove it hard into Sangmin's face. Wham! Sangmin flew back to the wall, hitting it with a sickening thud. Before crashing to the ground, scarlet blood spilled from his nose. Jihyun leapt forward, grabbing his collar, lifting him up, and struck him again, harder than before. You think this is funny? He shouted. Why do you always go after people weaker than you? He wasn't just angry, he was reliving everything. The pain, the humiliation, sitting on the cold floor, beaten and broken, thinking of suicide, begging for mercy, while Sangmin smiled, said it was just for fun. Jihyun's voice cracked. All that, just for fun? He snapped out of the memory, staring at Sangmin's bloody face. Quit pretending you're hurt, he spat. Get up, we're not done. Suddenly, crack, kapow, a fist slammed into Jihyun's face from behind. He stumbled, landing hard on the floor. It was Chulwoo. If you're such a nerd, Chulwoo said, sneering, you should keep your head down. He looked around at the stunned classroom. Who do you think you are? Moonjin stood silently nearby, eyes wide, while all their classmates stood as well watching the fight unfolded. Chulwoo sneered again. How long do you think you can keep this up? But Jihyun wasn't done. Staring hard at his opponent, Fist held up his head. He gritted his teeth, and slammed a fist straight into his face. A solid wham to the jaw. Gasps rippled through the classroom. Stunned, Chulwoo staggered, furious, thinking how this shorty can do something to him. He then shouted, "You little. I'll kill you." He lunged, raising his arms aiming to punch hard. Jihyun then sidestepped him, making Chulwoo stumble and miss. Jihyun's counter came fast and brutal, another hit to the face. Smack. The room went still. Students whispered in awe and disbelief. He beat Chulwoo, the strongest guy in the class. Jihyun stumbled back, and turned to Sangmin. This is all your fault, he growled, grabbing Sangmin by the collar. Apologize. Now. Sangmin said nothing. Say it, Jihyun roared. Apologize to Moonjin. Sangmin coughed, eyes flashing with pain and fury. His hand clenched into a fist. He looked up. Moonjin, he muttered. Sorry, I won't do it again. Looking like a hero like our protagonist is. He threatened Sangmin. This won't end well next time. Sangmin lowered his head, then together with his own friend he agrees. Alright, he muttered, it was our fault, we'll be more careful next time. Chulwoo, still rubbing his bruised face, nodded in agreement. Jihyun stood tall, his voice calm, but his eyes burned. There won't be a next time, he said coldly. Inside, he was triumphant. For the first time, he had taken control of his life, beaten the very people who'd once turned it into a living hell. He wasn't that broken boy anymore. Everything had changed. Classmates swarmed around him. That was awesome, someone shouted. I hated that Sangmin guy since middle school, another chimed in. You really showed him. The once quiet classroom now buzzed with admiration. Moonjin approached, shame in his eyes. I'm sorry, he said with a small, grateful smile. It's okay, man. You were the one who got it first. You should take care of that. Jihyun replied happily. Moonjin grinned. We're still friends, right? Jihyun nodded. Of course we are. Moonjin got teary-eyed. Thanks, Jihyun. I won't mess it up again. He then hugged his friend, promising that he won't ever betray their friendship ever. Annoyed, Jihyun tried to remove Moonjin, saying he gets it. So let go. But the peace didn't last long. The next day, Jihyun was summoned. His homeroom teacher, furious, stormed into the hall. Follow me. All eyes followed them as Moonjin watched guiltily from the doorway. Inside the staff room, the teacher slammed a file on the table. I trusted you. You were a model student, and now look at this mess. Jihyun kept his voice steady. I don't know what you're talking about. Angered, his teacher shouted, you beat up an innocent classmate. Innocent? Jihyun's eyes narrowed. Moonjin was the one who got hurt. The teacher gave a bitter laugh. Oh, boys will be boys. It was just play fighting. A bit of teasing. But you went too far. Play fighting? He was crying, begging for them to stop. That's not teasing. That's violence. The teacher's face darkened. That doesn't matter now. The parents' committee is furious. Sangmin's family has connections. Important ones. He paused, rubbing his nose as he closed his eyes. After a meeting with the principal and vice principal, it's been decided. You're expelled. What? Jihyun's heart stopped. You're expelling me? For this? What punishment does Sangmin get? The teacher didn't answer. And that, I hate. Some schools are effed up. Jihyun's voice rose. He causes problems everywhere. And no one says a word? He clenched his fists. No, I won't accept this. You're ignoring the rules. School policy says if someone starts a fight, they're the one who should be punished. If they bully others, they should be expelled. The teacher snapped. How dare you lecture me? You'll be expelled no matter what you say. Suddenly, a voice called from the door, making the both of them look back at the newcomer. That's enough. It was Sangmin. He walked in calmly and faced the teacher. This is my fault too, he said. There's no need to punish him. The teacher blinked in confusion. I started it, Sangmin said. So I should be the one expelled, he added, looking guilty as. He shrugged. Friends fight sometimes. It's normal. No big deal. Ji-hyun stared, stunned. What is he up to? Sang-min smiled faintly. Just a misunderstanding between friends. That's all. The teacher hesitated, then sighed. Fine. Go back to class. Both of you. As the both of them left to go back to class, Ji-hyun grabbed Sang-min by the shoulder. Why did you help me? Sang-min tilted his head, a strange smile on his face. Not sure. I surprised myself, honestly. It's not guilt, just felt like it, and with that, he walked away. The whispers in the classroom grew louder. Nothing about these days felt normal anymore. The semester rolled on, and finally, exam week arrived. Moonjin sighed in relief after handing in his paper. Man, I just guessed everything. Ji-hyun chuckled. It wasn't easy for me either. You're lying again, Moonjin teased, poking Ji-hyun's cheeks. You're gonna get first place again, aren't you? In truth, things were far from easy. Ji-hyun had lived this life before, and knew what was coming. Soon, the results were posted. The teacher barked, anyone scoring below average will struggle later. You've been warned. The students crowded around the board. Ji-hyun? Top score. Moonjin tugged at his cheeks again. Told ya, you owe me rice cakes. On a round of game to celebrate. Then came Sang-min. He scanned the board, saw the name at the top, and turned. Congrats, he said quietly, meeting Ji-hyun's eyes. Then he walked away. Strange guy, Ji-hyun thought. He couldn't figure him out. Moonjin bounced beside him. I ranked 39th, that's a personal record. Outside, Sang-min gripped the school gate tightly, staring into the distance. He whispered Ji-hyun's name. Tears welled in his eyes. Looking sketchy, he clenched his jaw. I'll never forget this disgrace. Not for the rest of my life. Back at home, Ji-hyun's victory had stirred different reactions. He had earned first place in his final year of high school. His mother was thrilled, beaming with pride. You must take after me, she joked. I was just as smart when I was your age. But his father got drunk. As the alcohol took over, his father grew unusually sentimental. As Ji-hyun helped his father to bed, he started mumbling to his son. Looking happy. You know, Ji-hyun, he slurred, your mother and I. We only have you. Ah, Ji-hyun looked at him quietly. I know, that's why you should really start drinking less. Remembering his past, because if he didn't, he'd be dead in 2 years. Ji-hyun already knew, from his previous life, his father would die of stomach cancer. Looking at his father thinking back on how he drinks so much. And if he didn't do something now, Ji-hyun seriously started counting on his hands, the outcome wouldn't change. He waited, the moment would come soon. Ji-hyun then tried to ask his father while he was still awake. Dad, are you there? Can you listen? Son. Anything for my best son of course, his dad drunkenly said. But before Ji-hyun could speak again, his father fell asleep on the bed. Tomorrow, he thought, I'll ask him tomorrow. The next day at lunch, Mom brought it up first. His stomach's been acting up again. Probably drank too much last night. That was the opening he needed. His father looked up from his bowl. You said you had something to ask me? Yeah, Ji-hyun said. Let's finish this first and I'll tell you later. Later, Ji-hyun handed him an envelope. Inside was cash. Money he'd been saving from part-time jobs. Delivering newspapers, odd gigs, anything he could find. I promised I'd grant your wish, he said. Please, use this to get checked. A gastroscopy. Surprised. His father blinked. Why so suddenly? Like whose son does this kind of thing? Well, everyone does it, just in case. It's nothing serious, Ji-hyun explains. But that wasn't the truth. The truth was, if nothing was done now, the cancer in his father's stomach would silently begin its attack. But if caught early, it could be cured. Then his mother asked gently, son? How about for your mom? Ah, I will, Ji-hyun assured her. I'm saving something for you as well. He turned back to his father. Well, will you go? His father pushed the envelope back toward him, making Ji-hyun shocked as if he can't believe his dad, he exclaimed. Looking down, I don't need this. Your dad is young anyway. I'm not in pain. Why waste money on that nonsense? His father said. Because if you wait, Ji-hyun said, voice tight, it might be too late. I said I'm fine. I'll get tested when I need to. Not now. Ji-hyun clenched his teeth. You made a promise. A man doesn't go back on his word. His father stared at him for a long moment, then sighed. I won't ignore my son's words, he said at last. Fine, I'll go. Ji-hyun lit up with relief. Happy that he managed to convince his father. He then immediately got up to make an appointment. Relieved that he can save his dad. However, I will pay for it. I don't want you to waste the money you worked for, his dad said, handing back the envelope to Ji-hyun. When Ji-hyun left the room, he overheard his mom's gentle voice. "See, you should be proud. He's a good kid," but his father only scoffed. "He's stubborn, couldn't even understand the first time." Ji-hyun called the hospital to confirm the gastroscopy. He hung up, staring at the phone, worried. If the cancer had already begun to spread, if it was too late. That night, his mother peeked into his room. "What are you still doing up?" "Nothing. Just thinking." The day of the appointment came. Ji-hyun wanted to go with his father, "Good luck, Dad," but he had school, and he couldn't miss another day. His father said he doesn't need to worry, while looking sleek. Still, his thoughts spun during class. Please let it be early. Let it be treatable, not even managing to eat properly. But halfway through the lesson, he couldn't take it anymore. "Sorry," he said, standing abruptly. "I have to go." The teacher shouted after him. "You can't just leave, the class isn't over." But he was already gone and he hurriedly tried to run home. As he got home, threw open the door. "Mom, how is he? What did the doctor say?" His mother hesitated. She opened her mouth but only mumbled. "Tell me," he insisted. "They said everything's fine." Ji-hyun's heart dropped. As his father stepped up, "I'm fine. The doctor had said it was just an inflammatory process. We just wasted money for nothing." But Ji-hyun was disappointed. Deeply. His father noticed. "What's wrong with you?" he asked. Ji-hyun forced a smile. "Thank you for going through with the exam." His parents didn't understand his expression. Outside, under the gray sky, Ji-hyun walked in silence. The truth still clung to the back of his mind like a shadow. His father would die in 2 years from stomach cancer. It didn't feel right. Something was off. There were only 2 possibilities. And based on how that hospital handled it, he had a very good guess. He had to find out for sure. Ji-hyun turned and made his way to the hospital. At the reception desk, a cheerful nurse greeted him. "Do you have any health complaints? Would you like to schedule a diagnosis?" "Hello," he said. "I came to check the results of my father's examination. It was done 2 hours ago." The girl smiled and patted his head. "The doctor already explained the results to your father. You don't have to worry." Ji-hyun stayed firm. "I'd still like to speak to the doctor myself." She paused. "He may be busy, but I'll ask." She picked up the phone and spoke quietly. "The guardian wants to discuss the results." A voice snapped on the other end. "Make something up. Send him home." She hesitated. "The doctor's busy right now," she said gently. "But everything's fine. You can come next time, with your parents." But Ji-hyun stood his ground. "There's a reason I need to talk to him. As a family member, I have the right to know." The girl looked conflicted, then picked up the phone again. "He won't leave until he speaks with you," she said. There was a pause. Then, "Fine, let him in." She pointed down the hall. "Please wait there. You'll be called soon." Time passed. He even dozed off in the chair. Finally, his name was called. He stepped inside. A gray-haired doctor looked up, puzzled. "You're the guardian? You look very young." "I'm his son," Ji-hyun replied. The doctor nodded. "Well, according to the results, there's nothing serious. Just a bit of inflammation." "What kind of inflammation?" Ji-hyun asked. "Chronic gastritis, erosive, or metaphase? Any areas showing precancerous signs?" The doctor blinked. "You've done your homework." He cleared his throat. "It's common to have erosive gastritis. There are changes in the stomach cavity." "What about the stomach walls?" Ji-hyun interrupted. "Any atypical structures? Any signs of bleeding?" The doctor hesitated. "Well, I don't think we observed. I want to see the photos from the gastroscopy." "Right here, with you." "That's not possible," the doctor snapped. "I've got other patients to see." Ji-hyun's voice rose. "I still have the right to see those images." The nurse walked in, alerting them of the next patient. But Ji-hyun stood firm. According to medical law, Section 21, Clause 2, family members can request a copy of a patient's medical history. If you send me away, you'll be in violation of that law. The room went silent. Finally, the doctor sighed. "Fine." He turned on the computer. One by one, the photos appeared on screen, images of a stomach, painted in shades of red and pink. "That area's inflammation," the doctor explained. "See? No other issues." Ji-hyun leaned in. At first, nothing looked out of place. But then, he pointed, sharply. "Photo 18, he said. "Show me that one again." Surprised, the doctor paused. "What are you talking about?" Ji-hyun's hands trembled as he pointed again. "That area. What is that?" The doctor peered at the image. He went pale. That's just inflammation," he muttered. "Typical gastritis?" "No," Ji-hyun said. "Those wrinkles, they're not normal. And there are signs of bleeding." This is stage 2 stomach cancer. The room felt heavy. The doctor wiped sweat from his forehead. How do you know that? That doesn't matter, Ji-hyun replied. The doctor panicked. No one could miss a large tumor. But this one is so small. In a hidden spot. Even experts might miss it. How do you miss something so important? Ji-hyun asked coldly. The doctor stammered. I want a full copy of the results. I'll take them to another hospital. The doctor nodded, shaken. He handed Ji-hyun an envelope. As the boy turned to leave, the doctor's voice stopped him. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't mean to miss it. Anyone can make a mistake, said the doctor, who obviously performed a lot of malpractice in the past. Ji-hyun didn't look back. Then, for your sake, and your patient's, go refresh your knowledge. Our boy Ji-hyun said, acting like a medical god. After another day, the three of them, Ji-hyun and his parents, traveled together to the hospital. On the bus ride, his mother dozed off, her head nodding gently with the rhythm of the road. When they got off, Ji-hyun glanced at her with concern. You must have stayed up late, he said. But she smiled and shook her head. We work like this every day. Then they walked together toward the looming silhouette of the university hospital, one of the best in Korea. Ji-hyun looked up at the building. This is where we change everything, he thought. His father still didn't know, not really. He didn't believe a high school student could possibly understand cancer. And Ji-hyun didn't have the courage to tell him what would happen in 2 years. But that was fine, because he didn't need belief. He needed action. So, Ji-hyun had scheduled a meeting with Professor Choi, the head of the cancer treatment department. The day of the appointment arrived quickly. His family hurried across the cold hospital floor, tension heavy in the air. His mom wrung her hands. Her worry was plain. Don't be too anxious, Ji-hyun said softly. We found it early. She turned to him, eyes wet but grateful. Yeah, thank Ji. You found out about the cancer, she whispered. As they approached the reception area, Ji-hyun's eyes caught something unexpected, a bright red sports car. He blinked. Sangmin? That was Sangmin's car. He used to drive it everywhere, even back in school. What was he doing here? Ji-hyun pushed the thought aside. They reached the reception desk. I have an appointment, Ji-hyun said. The nurse nodded. Yes, please wait. The professor is with a patient. The lobby was packed. A man walked by with his head bandaged. Down the hall, a crash team tried to resuscitate someone. The weight of the place settled in. His mother leaned over. Is everything going to be okay? His father exhaled. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Don't panic. Soon, the nurse returned. You can go in now. They entered the office. A nameplate on the door read, Oncology Head. Inside, a sharp-looking man with glasses peered up from a stack of papers. You're here because a cancerous tumor was found during a gastroscopy? He asked. Ji-hyun remembered him. In his previous life, he had attended Dr. Choi's lectures. He was intense, formidable, but brilliant. Ji-hyun nodded and handed over the report. Dr. Choi squinted at him. You're his son? Yes. The doctor began examining the images. After a moment, Dr. Choi looked up. I can say with certainty, it's stomach cancer. Ji-hyun's mom gasped and his father turned surprised. Is he going to die? Stomach cancer can appear in both early and late stages. The doctor's voice was calm but firm. No, it's curable. The late stage is dangerous. Often fatal. But your husband, he's in the early stage. Ji-hyun's mother broke into tears of joy. A 90% chance of full recovery, the doctor continued. The tumor is very small. So small, it hasn't started showing symptoms yet. He looked at Ji-hyun with curiosity. What made you decide to do a gastroscopy? Ji-hyun's mother was beaming. She held her son's hand and turned to the doctor. It was all thanks to him. He insisted on the gastroscopy. Dr. Choi smiled and nodded. Your son saved your life, he said to the father. The father blinked in confusion. Saved my life? What do you mean? If you hadn't done the test, Choi explained, the tumor would have grown past the point of treatment within a year or two. Good thing that the first doctor found out about this, the doctor continued. However, Ji-hyun's father denied that it was not the first doctor, rather it was his son. Ji-hyun's mother added, the other doctor said it was just inflammation. But our boy, he went back, reviewed the pictures, and found the tumor himself. Choi turned to Ji-hyun, still baffled. How did you even notice something like that? Maybe it was just a mother's pride, he thought. But even he couldn't explain it. In any case, treatment had to begin, and quickly. That was the hardest part. The tumor is in a difficult location, Choi explained. To remove it, we'd need to remove the entire stomach. The father froze. What? It's so small, you want to remove my whole stomach? The doctor's tone didn't waver. Due to its location in the gastric folds, yes. Anatomically, removal is the most reliable path. What are the side effects? The father asked. There are some, Choi admitted. We always aim to minimize resection, but in this case. Suddenly, Ji-hyun stepped forward. Wait, doctor, he said. What if you use an endoscope to excise just the tumor membranes? The doctor looked at Ji-hyun in surprise. Choi raised an eyebrow. An endoscopic submucosal dissection? Ji-hyun nodded. Based on my research, if you don't cut through the intestines, the side effects are minimal. The recovery would be better than with a partial gastrectomy. Choi leaned back, studying him. You're right, but that depends on the tumor's depth. From what we see in the folds, there's a high chance the tumor has already penetrated the submucosal layer. Ji-hyun pushed on, but the folds are shallow. The tumor looks early stage. We should at least check the depth with an ultrasound, then decide. The room went silent. Choi finally asked, Where did you learn this? Ji-hyun hesitated. I studied a little on my own, before coming here. Sorry if I spoke out of line. The mother laughed, ruffling his hair. That's my boy. When he puts his mind to something, he really studies. Went from last in the class to first in 2 months. The father smirked. I told you he could do it. The mother glared. Oh, now you admit it? Dad, Ji-hyun said, we're in a hospital. Woo, Sana all. Choi frowned, closed his eyes in thought. It was ridiculous, but the boy was right. He sighed. All right, we'll check the tumor depth and proceed as you suggested. He'll be admitted today. After hospitalization, more tests were run. Thankfully, the tumor had not penetrated deep into the membrane. Surgery could be done without removing the stomach. Another day had passed and at the operating room too. Ji-hyun and his mother sat side by side, silently waiting. She turned to her son, anxious. Do you think he'll be okay? Ji-hyun nodded. Of course. It's going to be fine. He checked the time. 2 hours had passed. Even though the success rate was high, he was still nervous. This was his father. Then the doors opened. Dr. Choi stepped out. The mother jumped up. Doctor, how is he? Choi smiled gently. Everything went perfectly. There's no need to worry anymore. Her eyes filled with tears. She bowed deeply. Thank you, she whispered. Dr. Choi turned to Ji-hyun. No, he sighed and tapped his shoulder. Never mind. Ji-hyun looked up, surprised. Later, in the recovery room, Ji-hyun sat beside his father's bed. How do you feel? He asked. Anything bothering you? His father shifted, wincing slightly. I'm fine, almost back to normal. You don't need to keep coming, you know. Nah, I can study here too. Still, you need care, even now. Ji-hyun smiled. You're not fully recovered yet. The father chuckled. You're just as stubborn as me. Dr. Choi appeared again, walking in with a clipboard. Any stomach pain? He asked. No, the father replied. Choi smiled. Good, the latest ultrasound looks clean. Keep up with checkups, and you'll be fine. He turned to Ji-hyun. Where did you learn all that? He asked. Ji-hyun hesitated, rubbing his neck. I studied from books. Choi stared at him, stunned. Then smiled. A genius beyond his years? That's the only explanation. He leaned closer. Are you in high school? Ji-hyun nodded. I heard you're top of your class. So, what university are you aiming for? I was thinking about Korea University, he said shyly. And your major? Medicine. Choi's eyes lit up. Then do this, he said. Get into Korea University's medical school, and when you do, come find me. Be my student. Ji-hyun blinked. What? Choi laughed. What, too hard? No, it's not that, Ji-hyun said quickly. Just, sudden. Choi placed a hand on his shoulder. I believe in you. You'll become a doctor who saves lives. He turned to leave. Find me when you get there. Ji-hyun watched him go, lips pressed together. He knew Dr. Choi's students had a hard time keeping up. He was famously strict, but he also specialized in cancer, the same path Ji-hyun had taken in his past life. His father glanced over. He seems like a good man, but something about him bothers me. Then he smiled. You'll be a doctor too, right? Like him? Ji-hyun looked down. A doctor who ran into chaos to save a patient's life. A doctor who sacrificed himself for others. He had been that doctor once, and it had led him to a terrible end. Now, he wanted to live differently. Ji-hyun looked up, a faint smile on his lips. I think I'll go into dermatology. He then laughed menacingly while rubbing his hands. Ji-hyun stretched in the hallway, arms above his head, leaning side to side. Studying in this position is murder on my back, he thought, groaning. A sudden noise echoed down the corridor. He paused. What was that? A fight? Peeking cautiously around the corner, he spotted two figures. One of them was Sangmin, standing stiffly in front of a man who looked older. Maybe a brother? A cousin? Ji-hyun leaned back against the wall, trying to stay out of sight. They were arguing, loudly. Tension hung in the air. This isn't my business. Then, smack, the older man struck Sangmin across the face. Sangmin reeled back but clenched his teeth, glaring daggers. They exchanged more heated words, then stormed off in opposite directions. As the man passed, Ji-hyun stayed still, pretending that he is just passing by. However, after he comes back to his father's room, he wonders as he can't shake it off. Family fight, he guessed. Still, it is strange to brawl in front of everyone like that. A few days later, Ji-hyun's father was discharged from the hospital without complications. Professor John reminded him, as long as you keep up regular checkups, you'll be fine. The father smiled at his son. I'm really grateful, you know. Ji-hyun waved it off. Come on, Dad, I just want you healthy. His mother teased, what about me, huh? Maybe I should get a checkup too? Of course. Ji-hyun grinned. When I get a part-time job in college, you'll be my first patient. She laughed, patting his shoulder. Such a good boy, but don't waste your money on me. It's the thought that counts. Ji-hyun smiled warmly. She'll be healthy for years to come, he believed. Looking back, Ji-hyun thought that everything had finally changed and that his past will cease to exist now. And that in this life, truly, he will work hard. As they walked down the street together, she looked at him and asked, what do you want for dinner tonight? Something tasty? He smiled back. For the first time in a long while, things felt peaceful. Back to reality. The semester ended. Exams were finally over. In class, Moonjin threw his arms into the air dramatically. What kind of torture is this? He slumped next to Ji-hyun, pouting. So, how'd you do? Let me guess, you're first again. Ji-hyun scratched his cheek, embarrassed. It was harder this time. Oh, don't lie. Moonjin poked him in the cheek. You said that last time too. He leaned closer and whispered, get second place for once, would ya? Just once. Ji-hyun chuckled nervously. Well, we'll see when grades come out. How about you? He asked. Moonjin shrugged, tapping his nose. Dunno, but Ji-hyun could tell. The confidence in his face said enough. A few days later, summer vacation finally arrived. Mr. Ha, their homeroom teacher, stood at the front of the class, his glasses flashing. You all did your best this semester, he said. But don't slack off during summer break. Keep studying. The students groaned. Oh, and I've posted final grades. Once you see them, you will want to study more, whether you plan to or not. Everyone rushed the bulletin board. Moonjin ran over, scanned the list, then gasped and threw his arm around Ji-hyun's neck. Bro, you did it again. First place. Really? Ji-hyun blinked. What about you? Moonjin grinned, pointing at himself proudly. 23rd. Moved up 20 spots. Ji-hyun's jaw dropped. That's incredible. A little more, Moonjin smirked, and I'll catch up. Ji-hyun was happy for his friend, but as he looked at his own score, his smile faded slightly. Still first, he noted. But my average only rose by 0.6, and the gap with Sangmin, it's smaller now. He looked over. Sangmin was approaching, Chulwoo by his side. Congrats on first place, Sangmin said flatly. Ji-hyun narrowed his eyes, sensing something behind the words. Thanks. Moonjin whispered, that didn't sound like a compliment. Sangmin smirked. Really amazing. How do you study so well? There's hardly a difference between us, Ji-hyun replied. Hardly? Sangmin's voice darkened. The difference between first and second is like day and night. Moonjin shifted uncomfortably. Sangmin tilted his head. You don't play, don't have fun. Just study. How boring. He added, mockingly, long-awaited summer vacations here. Wanna hit the internet cafe? Or wait, you probably don't even know how to use a mouse. Chulwoo chuckled. Yeah, if we go with these two bores, we'll die of boredom. Moonjin's fists tightened. Who are you calling a bore? Sangmin smirked again. This guy, Mr. Number 1. What a disappointment. He turned away. Have fun studying this summer. Moonjin's face was red with rage. Can you believe them? But Ji-hyun stepped forward. He spoke coldly. I will be at that internet cafe. Sangmin stopped, surprised. Seriously? Have you even touched a mouse before? A quiet, dangerous energy swelled around Ji-hyun. Doesn't matter, he said. Teams or solo, your choice. I'll tear you apart either way. The fire in his eyes burned bright. They arrived at the computer shop. Rows of glowing monitors, the soft hum of machines, and the faint, lingering scent of cigarettes filled the room. Ji-hyun sat down at a station and smiled to himself. Man, I missed this smell. It's been years. Across from him, Chul-woo raised an eyebrow. Ji-hyun, caught daydreaming, looked like he was smoking an invisible cigarette. He smirked and waved Chul-woo off. Don't even ask me to teach you. I don't have the time. Ji-hyun shot him a glare. Shut up and get on StarCraft. Chul-woo blinked. Huh? This kid was acting like he'd actually played the game before. Chul-woo held back a grin. Just for show, he thought. Let's see how long he lasts. He glanced at the screen. Gonna crush him. Boring to just play like this, Chul-woo said suddenly. Let's make a bet. Loser does whatever the winner says. Unless you're too scared? Ji-hyun didn't even flinch. I'm in. Just don't cry when you lose. Moonjin panicked. Ji-hyun, this isn't studying, this is StarCraft. You can't just wing it. He leaned in, whispering nervously. Go with Protoss. Easier for beginners. Just build the basic stuff. I'll try to hold them off. Ji-hyun shrugged. I'll go random. Moonjin choked. What? We're doomed. Sangmin, slouched with his head in one hand, yawned. This is going to be too easy. He didn't even try to hide his boredom. Chul-woo grinned. Let's deal with Moonjin first. Moonjin broke out in a cold sweat. You're gonna what? It had begun. Moonjin closed his eyes, gritting his teeth. This is it. I'm finished. Ji-hyun's a scholar, not a gamer. This world, it's cold and merciless. He cracked one eye open. When he heard the screams of their enemy in the computer. Arg, ah, grr, ah, stop, the PC screamed. Wait, what? They were winning? Chul-woo and Sangmin stopped and looked surprised. Moonjin glanced at Ji-hyun's screen. His jaw dropped. Ji-hyun's eyes were locked onto the monitor, laser-focused. Sangmin's base is at 3 o'clock, he said calmly. Moonjin hesitated, then understood. He knows. Yas. Protagonist. Chul-woo's face twitched with tension. A vein throbbed in his forehead. Sangmin's expression turned grim. Moonjin, panting like he'd run a marathon, slammed the keyboard. Whoa, we won. He collapsed onto the floor in disbelief. Chul-woo gritted his teeth. What the heck? That's just a warm-up, he growled. Grr, one more. Ji-hyun smiled. Hey, sure, as many as you want. Moonjin sat up, wide-eyed. Wait, where did you learn to play like that? Ji-hyun looked away, scratching his cheek. I played a little. A long time ago. A little? Moonjin thought. That's impossible, but it was true. In his previous life, when he failed the college entrance exam 4 times, gaming was his only escape from what he felt all he had, just like any emo out there. 10 years of quiet, desperate clicking. Sure, his win rate is atrocious, 35 wins, 700 losses. But he never quit. Ji-hyun gripped the mouse. Doesn't matter. I'm not rusty. Across the room, sweat trickled down Chul-woo's face. Are we losing again? Ji-hyun grinned. Remember the bet? You want to take it back? A shadow fell over Chul-woo's face. Sangmin stood up, eyes sharp. Another round. Sure, Ji-hyun offered. So eager to beat me, he thought. But okay, let's play. Sangmin looked serious. Desperate, even. He really doesn't want to lose. But luck wasn't on Sangmin's side. Again, they lost. Losers. Chul-woo's face twisted in disbelief. But how? How can he fight, play, study, like he's done all of this before? Is he a GG genius? Ji-hyun hummed a little tune to himself. Completely at ease, Chul-woo stared at him like he was seeing a cyborg. Is he a Terminator? Is this guy living a second life? Bingo. Ji-hyun leaned over, smirking. Hey, bet's a bet. Fine, Chul-woo muttered. What do you want? Ji-hyun's voice dropped cold. Stop taking money from the kids in our class. At least them. Chul-woo jumped up. Who are you to butt into my business? Before he could shout more, a hand landed on his shoulder. Sangmin. All right, he said softly. We'll stop. Chul-woo turned, shooked. Wayo? A deal's a deal, Sangmin said. And maybe it's time we stop bullying people. Chul-woo looked like he wanted to protest, but Sangmin met his gaze with fierceness. Just do it, Nike, he said again, calm but firm. Kya. Chul-woo said nothing more. Ji-hyun raised an eyebrow. You're not lying, right? Sangmin rolled his eyes. No, you can trust me. Ji-hyun still didn't look satisfied. What's with that face? Sangmin asked. I didn't do anything bad lately. Unfortunately, Ji-hyun thought, he's right. Suddenly, Sangmin smiled and leaned forward. Let's play in real life. Real life? Ji-hyun crossed his arms. What's that supposed to mean? Sangmin moved closer. Well, it might be too much for you guys, haha. Ji-hyun showed an irritated face. Drinking? Can you even drink? Moonjin gasped. Wait, Sangmin, do you know how to drink? He ducked behind Ji-hyun's back. We're underage. Sangmin raised an eyebrow. Ha, too much for you? Ji-hyun narrowed his eyes. He just wants to win. He really hates losing. Kind of admirable, he thought. Surprisingly cute. Like what? What did you say, protagonist? Chulwoo snickered. Don't drink. You'll pass out after one shot. Come on, Sangmin said. Let's go together. They looked at Ji-hyun expectantly. Are you paying? He asked. Sangmin blinked. Huh? Are you paying for the drinks? Ji-hyun clarified, while Moonjin showed a shocked face. Ji-hyun gave a thumbs up. I'm in. Just make it soju, the one with the red caps. Sangmin leaned in. You're not gonna pass out after one glass, are you? Moonjin trembled. Guys, we're literally underage, can't we play a different game? Ji-hyun grinned. I'm 45 on the inside, he thought. You have no idea how long I've waited for a drink. You're paying, right? He repeated to Sangmin. He clenched a fist, sparkling with enthusiasm. Drooling, ready to get smashed. Moonjin's face paled. He's not listening to me at all. And then, just like every drunkard, everything after that was a blur. They drank a lot. Everyone but him and Sangmin passed out almost immediately. The only clear memory in that chaos. He was sick, lying on the floor. Someone approached him, Ji-hyun, face down, barely conscious. Then there was a man's lips curled into a grin. The bastard beat me, he thought. Suddenly, Ji-hyun shot upright in bed, eyes wide. Where? What? He looked around in confusion. Sangmin appeared. You're awake. How's your head? Ji-hyun blinked at him. Where am I? Why are you here? I live here, Sangmin replied casually. Want some meal? He then handed a glass full of drink. Ji-hyun reached for a glass. What happened? Sangmin looked at him seriously. What do you mean, what happened? You got drunk and passed out. I didn't know where you lived, so I brought you here. Ji-hyun's eyes widened. So I'm at that bastard's place? He looked around. The room was huge. A penthouse? The space was sleek, immaculate. He lives here? This guy? Sangmin walked over with a tray. You're not at a zoo. Come eat. Ji-hyun took the utensils. Ramen, huh? Best hangover cure, Sangmin said. Ji-hyun smiled, eating. Ramen, cooked by this scumbag. But it was delicious. Wow. Sangmin asked, is it good? Yeah, Ji-hyun admitted, cheeks full. Too good, actually. Wife material. Sangmin smiled, his expression softer than usual. What is this, a new side of him? Ji-hyun thought. All because I finally beat him? Still can't figure this guy out. Sitting across from each other, Ji-hyun asked, where are your parents? Are you home alone? Yeah, Sangmin said. 5 years ago, I lived with my mom. But she was hospitalized 3 years ago. So, it's been just me for a while. Ji-hyun looked at him quietly. She's in the Korean University Hospital now, Sangmin added. His mom, she's the reason he was at the hospital before, Ji-hyun realized. Is she okay? He asked. Sangmin hesitated, then answered, physically? Sure, mentally, not so much. Schizophrenia. She can't distinguish reality from fiction. She's tried to kill herself more than once. Ji-hyun's eyes widened. He looked away, then met Sangmin's gaze again. Must be hard, being alone all the time, he said softly. Sangmin looked down. Yeah, a little, but even if I went back to my family home, I wouldn't be welcome. Ji-hyun watched him, lips pressed together. He talks like he doesn't belong anywhere. And then he understood. Maybe that's why he acts like such a jerk. But still, it's no excuse. Ji-hyun took a deep breath. Hang in there. Sangmin looked up in surprise. I don't know much, Ji-hyun continued. But, that's all I can say. Sangmin looked at him, then nodded. Thanks. They chewed in silence. Feel better after that defeat? Ji-hyun asked. I do, Sangmin admitted. Like I've been reborn. That bad, huh? Then, time passed and winter came. Holidays ended, exams piled on. Again and again, Sangmin remained competitive, always asking to play games after exams. Always trying to win. They grew closer. Not exactly best friends, but something like it. After all, Ji-hyun had spent the night at his place. Some people even thought they were best friends of the year. Moonjin noticed. One day he wiped away some crocodile tears and asked, are you going to play with him without me now? He said, emphasizing the him. Ji-hyun frowned. Huh? Don't be stupid. You're my best friend, not that scumbag. Really? Moonjin beamed, acting shocked and silly. Am I still the best friend? Yes, Ji-hyun replied. So clingy, oh well. Time flew. Winter of their third high school year arrived. Ji-hyun shoved his hands into his pockets, looking at the exam results magazine. It's time. My butt's sore from all these exams. 4 years in my past life. 4 in this one. 8 years of prep. In a classroom, Moonjin asked, "How are you doing?" Ji-hyun closed his eyes. "I don't know. You always say there's no time during the exam. But you're never worried. Why do you think that?" Ji-hyun smiled. "Of course I'm worried. Well, your trial exam scores were good enough to get into Korean university without blinking." Moonjin sighed. Ji-hyun smiled. "Your grades shot up, too. You could get into a top college, right?" "Hey, maybe." Moonjin smirked to himself, looking proud. "Don't copy me. You never know until you see the results. Some people faint on test day even when they're well prepared. To make sure that doesn't happen, I'll give it my all." Ji-hyun thought. He then brought up a cup to his mouth to drink. "What are you drinking?" Moonjin asked. "Herbal tea. Sangmin gave it to me. Said it helps concentration." He handed the cup to Moonjin. "Hot and tasty. Wanna try it?" Moonjin took a sip and gagged. "Ugh, it's so bitter." Ji-hyun laughed. "Good medicine usually is." As he walked out, Chulwoo and Sangmin stood in front of him bringing their arms up to say hi. "Long time no see," Ji-hyun said. "How've you been?" Chulwoo shrugged. Too late for this year's exam. I'll take it next time." "Going out to smoke?" Ji-hyun asked, excited. "Take me too." "Huh, why would we smoke?" Chulwoo frowned. "People will get the wrong idea." Then, they went outside to drink canned coffee under the winter sun. "What about you? How are you doing?" Sangmin asked. Ji-hyun shrugged. "Dunno. Didn't you say you were aiming for Korean University's med school?" Sangmin grinned. "We'll be classmates, huh? What will you do once you get in?" "Make loads of money," Ji-hyun said confidently. "Invest in stocks. Own property. Eventually," he said, acting like he is the villain daydreaming about what he is about to do. The others nodded reluctantly. Whenever he talks about money, he changes completely. "I'm heading off," Ji-hyun said, waving. "Don't get sick." He turned to Sangmin. "The herbal tea was pretty good, by the way." "Sure. See you," Sangmin replied. Chulwoo looked at him. "You gave him tea?" "Yeah, I just had some lying around." Chulwoo pointed at himself. "What about me?" "Sorry," Sangmin grinned. "I'm all out." Chulwoo scoffed and turned away. Sangmin shrugged. "Really? Completely out?" And then on another day, Ji-hyun sat on his bed, teeth clenched hard. Of all people, why me? He was the one who had warned everyone not to get sick. And now here he was, the one falling apart. His mother came into the room, eyes full of worry. "What happened? Are you okay?" "I'm fine," Ji-hyun replied weakly, resting his elbows on his knees. "I think?" Then her mother stepped closer. "You don't look fine." Kneeling in front of him. "Are you really okay?" His body wobbled and collapsed forward. She caught him just in time. "Son," she gasped. He forced a weak laugh, rubbing the back of his head. "Guess I'm not okay after all." His mother frowned. "You're burning up. This is the flu, isn't it?" He stared at the floor. "I heard the flu season was starting." He shook his head. "No, it's not bird flu or anything. I'll be fine in a day or two." He then pushed himself to get ready and walked slowly towards the door. "The exam's the day after tomorrow. I'll get better by then. You should take a day off," his mother said worriedly. "Don't push yourself." "I'm fine," Ji-hyun replied, voice low. "I can go to school." But at school, Ji-hyun leaned heavily on his desk, head down. Moonjin glanced at him with concern. "Man, what's wrong with your face?" he asked. "I'm okay," Ji-hyun murmured. "Just feel sick. My stomach's twisting, that's all." "That's not okay," Moonjin said flatly. The teacher approached, brows furrowed. "You shouldn't be sitting here. Go to the infirmary, you need to rest." Ji-hyun tried to argue, but Moonjin had already grabbed his arm, half dragging him through the hall. "I know you're sick," Moonjin muttered. "But can you at least walk in a straight line?" Once Ji-hyun laid on the infirmary bed, the school nurse took one look at Ji-hyun and said, "You need to rest. But if this doesn't improve, go straight to the hospital." Ji-hyun tried to sit up, but a sharp jolt of pain twisted his gut. He doubled over. "What the hell is this? Infectious enteritis? But it's not even summer, and I haven't eaten anything weird. Peritonitis? A stomach ulcer?" He pushed himself up. "No, I have an exam the day after tomorrow. I need to." His body gave out. He collapsed face first into the bed, wheezing. "I just need to sleep. I'll feel better after some rest." After he had gone home, he lay on his bed while his mother sat beside him, her face etched with worry. I really think you should go to the hospital, she said gently. No, he said firmly. I'll just sleep it off. She studied him. You look like a zombie. He let out a faint laugh. Really? He closed his eyes. Even if I go to the hospital, all they'll do is give me flu meds. And I'm not even sure this is the flu. The next morning, Ji-hyun woke up drenched in sweat, clutching his stomach. This is worse. He looked at the pills in his hand. 2 Tylenol, 1 aspirin, 2 stomach pills. It's too much, but I have to. He swallowed them. Still, the pain wouldn't go away. This isn't the flu. Hunched over, he stumbled down the street. I have to recover by tomorrow. What am I going to do? At school, the teacher stared at his student looking like the first person to become a zombie, he said. You need to go home. Immediately, Ji-hyun mumbled something, barely audible. You're the pride of this school, the teacher said, placing a hand on his shoulder. There's an important exam tomorrow. Go home, rest. Okay. Walking home, Ji-hyun thought to himself, in my past life, I never missed a single day of school. And now I'm heading home like this. Back at their home again. He made his bed. I should review the practice problems. But as soon as his head hit the pillow, a low wheeze escaped him. Just sleep for a bit, then I'll review. The exam day arrived. Ji-hyun sat at his desk, eyes forward. He leaned on one arm, biting his tongue to stay awake. His pen slipped from his fingers and hit the floor with a clatter. As he reached down to grab it, something strange happened. Upon looking up, he saw himself. But older, wide-eyed, Ji-hyun stared. Who are you? The reflection smirked. Your future. The one that went to hell. Then, the older version struck him. Ji-hyun gasped, bolting upright at his desk, clutching his stomach. Just a dream? Sweat trickled down his back. This isn't normal. I need to go to the hospital. Once he made it to the hospital, the doctor frowned. Severe stomach pain and profuse sweating? That's not the flu. Can you lie down? Ji-hyun nodded weakly and lay back. The doctor examined him. Your symptoms point to intestinal inflammation, serious stuff. You can't ignore this. You need to go to a proper hospital. Ji-hyun sat up slowly. Doctor, I'm sorry. Could you just give me some painkillers? Fever meds? Something for my stomach? No, the doctor said firmly. This could be a stomach ulcer, peritonitis, or even something worse. You can't afford to delay. Ji-hyun's eyes widened. He's right. Everything he's saying is right. But still, he looked down. I can't go to the hospital now. I've worked too hard, waited too long. If I go now, everything will be delayed a year. No, not now. I have a college entrance exam tomorrow, Ji-hyun said. If it gets worse, I'll go to the hospital right away. But please, just give me the medicine. I'll take full responsibility. The doctor stared at him, then finally sighed. If you say so. Back home, his father asked, Are you sure you're okay? Ji-hyun nodded. I'm okay. His mom and dad looked at him worriedly, watching him. Ji-hyun then thought that I want them to live better than anyone else. He pulled the blanket up to his chest. I'll be fine. After the exam, I'll go to the hospital. This has to be a perforated stomach ulcer. The symptoms match. Maybe it's stress, but I didn't think I was under that much. A memory of drinking the herbal tea flashed through his mind. No, it can't be that. It wasn't poison. No way. He began to sit up. I must have been more worried than I realized. But what if it really is a perforated ulcer? Should I go to the hospital now? What do I do? He looked down. No blood poisoning yet. I can hold out a little longer. Clutching his stomach, he gritted his teeth. I'm still young. I can take it. Sitting up in bed, Ji-hyun steadied his breathing. With the painkillers, I'll make it. I just have to endure. He bowed his head. University medical school? I'll get in, no matter what. As Ji-hyun dragged his feet to school, sweat was clinging to his brow despite the cold. His condition was spiraling. Ji-hyun gripped a small packet of pills in his hand. Everything was riding on the edge. He downed them quickly. He couldn't lose to a damn illness now. A few students glanced over, worried. You okay? One asked. You look like a dead man walking. Ji-hyun closed his eyes. Even if this killed him, he couldn't wait another year. Not after everything. Inside the exam room, the proctor placed a sealed test case on each desk. Clear your desks. Don't open the envelopes until instructed. And remember, cheating will result in immediate disqualification. She paused, looking at Ji-hyun. Are you all right? She asked, stepping closer. I'm fine, Ji-hyun said. I can do it. Her frown deepened. If anything happens, raise your hand. Immediately, the first exam began. Language comprehension. Ji-hyun sat still, sweat dripping down his jawline. His vision blurred. This year's test was harder than he remembered. Some questions, he didn't even know how to approach them. Still, somewhere in the fog of his brain, fragments of old answers flickered to life. 20 years had passed, but some things stuck. He clutched his stomach. A cold tremble rippled through him. Not now, he begged himself. You studied for 8 years for this. He hunched lower, barely holding himself together. He had to make it. Lunch break came. However, he just took a nap and didn't even manage to eat the lunchbox that his mom diligently prepared for him. A girl hovered beside him. Are you sure you're okay? Maybe you should go to the hospital. She's right, added Thomas, his friend. You look awful. If something happens. I said I'm fine, Ji-hyun murmured. If you really care, just let me rest. Next. Foreign language. Ji-hyun blinked slowly. His hands trembled. The teacher walked over, brows furrowed. Still with us? He nodded silently, but the pain, sharp and deep, gnawed at his insides. He held his stomach. Was this blood poisoning? If the ulcer had truly perforated, and the infection spread? No, not now. Ji-hyun clenched his jaw. He couldn't give up, not when he had already come so far. Just one more exam after this. He decided to check himself. 2 fingers on his wrist, pulse test. It was fast, too fast, 130 beats per minute. Normal was around 100. Neck, fine. Femoral artery, fine, but his radial and plantar arteries were lagging. So far, I'm functioning. Barely. He looked at the final test paper. Just one more. A blur of students moved through the room. Someone approached. You okay? He was slumped over his desk, face pale, breath shallow. Shaking violently. Call an ambulance, he gasped, raising a trembling hand. The room erupted. Someone call the teachers, he needs help. Ji-hyun collapsed against the desk, vision fading. It's over, he thought. Finally, I can rest. R.I.P. to our protagonist. He opened his eyes. White ceiling. Blurred fluorescent lights. A dull ache pulsed in his gut. He was in the hospital. The curtain pulled aside, his mother. Tears welled in her eyes the second she saw him. Mom? Ji-hyun called out weakly. You, how could you be so stupid? She cried, voice cracking. You could have died. The exam wasn't worth your life. She sat at his bedside, trembling. What were your father and I supposed to do if something happened to you? Then his father and the doctor entered quietly. You were on the edge, he said solemnly. You had a perforated ulcer. Peritonitis was advancing. If you'd come any later? Ji-hyun's mother gasped, horrified. You will go to the hospital next time, she sobbed. You hear me? No matter what. His father stood beside her, face stern. We'll talk about this properly when you're discharged. Ji-hyun looked down. I'm sorry. The doctor gave him a gentle look. The operation was successful. You'll recover fully in a few days. But don't do this again. Go to the hospital first. Always. Ji-hyun exhaled, body sinking into the bed. He was alive, and for now, that was enough. Moonjin entered the hospital room with a grin. Still alive? Ji-hyun chuckled weakly. You're seriously unlucky, man. Getting that sick right before the biggest exam of your life? Moonjin shook his head, still smiling. I'm feeling better now, Ji-hyun replied, sitting up straighter. How'd the exam go for you? What grade are you aiming for? Moonjin hesitated. What? Ji-hyun raised an eyebrow. He could tell Moonjin was trying to be tactful, probably thought he'd missed the exam altogether. To be honest, everything's a blur, Ji-hyun admitted. I tried my best, but I barely remember anything. A few questions here and there, maybe because I've taken it before. Before Moonjin could respond, Sangmin and Chulwoo walked in. Yo, what happened to you? Chulwoo asked, wide-eyed. Sangmin tossed a small bag onto the bed. How are you feeling? Better, Ji-hyun said with a tired smile. Sangmin sat beside him. We were gonna invite you out to celebrate, but I guess that'd be too much right now. With a smirk, Ji-hyun asked, so, did you do well? Sangmin immediately avoided looking at Ji-hyun, not knowing what to say. Chulwoo laughed dryly, looking away. I bombed it. I'm thinking of studying with you if you're retaking it next year. Hey, Sangmin interjected, don't say that. The results aren't even out yet. Chulwoo scratched the back of his head. Still, if even this monster was that sick, no way he pulled it off. Ji-hyun smirked and made a fist bump with Chulwoo. If that's how it turns out, then yeah, let's study together. After being discharged, rumors swirled behind his back. Most of his classmates assumed he'd failed. He was the best in our class, someone whispered. But look how it ended. Poor guy. Bad timing. Even the teachers pitied him. He was our top candidate. What a shame. But at least we still have Sangmin. Still, Ji-hyun felt oddly calm. At home, he helped his parents at their restaurant and spent the evenings resting. One night, as the TV droned on in the background, his father turned to him. "So, what are you planning for next year?" Ji-hyun hesitated. "College entrance exam." His father nodded slowly. "I don't want you going to some random school just because of our money problems. I've seen how hard you've worked. I want you to go where you deserve." Ji-hyun smiled. "Thanks, Dad, I'll help however I can." Time passed, and results day arrived. Ji-hyun stood outside the classroom, stunned. Already? He thought. That went by too fast. Inside, the tension was suffocating. The students sat stiffly at their desks, eyes flicking around nervously. Then, "Bro," Moonjin burst in, waving a result sheet like a trophy. "I passed. Top first percentile. Can you believe it?" Ji-hyun blinked. "Seriously?" Moonjin grinned. "I guess all that stress paid off. What college are you aiming for?" "I need to talk to my dad first," Moonjin said, suddenly modest. "Didn't expect to do this well." Then he paused, stricken. "Crap, I've been talking about myself this whole time. Did you check your results yet?" "Not yet, I was just about to." Moonjin clapped a hand on his shoulder. "Let's go eat after. My treat. We'll celebrate, no matter what." Ji-hyun smiled. Probably somewhere fancy, he thought. Just then, the door burst open. "Everyone, is Ji-hyun here?" the teacher yelled, breathless. Ji-hyun raised his hand. "What's wrong?" The teacher charged at him, eyes glistening. "You did it." The whole room froze. "You," the teacher's voice cracked. "You got first place. Nationally." Silence. Moonjin's face went pale. "Wait, what?" Ji-hyun blinked. "First place?" The teacher nodded, nearly in tears. "Come with me." The hallway erupted with applause. Teachers gathered around him, smiling and patting his shoulder. "Well done," the principal said warmly. "I've had my eye on you since you joined." Later, Ji-hyun sat in the office, barely hearing the principal's speech. "I made it," he thought. "I actually made it." Outside, Chulwoo caught up to him. "You're insane, man. You were half dead, and you still crushed it." "What about Sangmin?" Ji-hyun asked. "He was here a second ago. Did well too, but not like you." Chulwoo pulled him into a bro hug. "No way we're sitting around on a day like this. Let's go grab a drink." "Nah," Ji-hyun said, slipping out of his grasp. "Let's save that for another time. I want to spend today with my parents." The sun bathed the house in warm light. Ji-hyun's mother hugged him tightly, her face buried in his chest. "My son, is this a dream? Rank 1? Ji-hyun held his mother. "Why are you crying?" he asked gently. "I'm just happy," she whispered. "Ah, my Kokoro." That night, the restaurant buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses. One man leaned toward Ji-hyun's father. "Seriously, what's your secret? If my son turned out even half as good as yours, I'd be at peace." "There's no secret," Ji-hyun's father said proudly. "He just takes after me." The room laughed. Someone raised their glass. "Stop bragging, man. There's no boy like Ji-hyun." "I am serious. My son really took after me," Ji-hyun fathers continued to brag. Later, a reporter smiled at Ji-hyun, camera lights blinking. "You rose from the bottom of your class to first place nationally, and you were hospitalized during the exam. What's your secret? Did you use private tutors or cram schools?" Ji-hyun raised his hands, bashful. He hadn't expected to be interviewed. "If you study for 8 years straight," he said with a quiet smile, "you don't need a tutor." He glanced away. "Remembering a few questions from my first attempt helped. But that's not everything." He stood tall, facing the cameras. "Ah, well, I studied mostly from textbooks." And there we have it. Watching Ji-hyun push through everything, the pressure, the isolation, even the pain, really hit me. It's a reminder that effort isn't always about big dramatic wins. Sometimes, it's just showing up again after falling apart. This arc wasn't just about changing the past, trying to be better or acing the exam. It was about not giving up on yourself when everyone else already has. And so, that wraps up this chapter of Ji-hyun's arc, from near collapse to national top rank. If you've watched till the end, comment, "Sana all," to let me know. If this arc meant something to you, hit that like button to support the channel, and drop a comment. We're heading into the next arc soon, so don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. This has been AAA. Until then, Jaana.